The chaotic functions were precisely paving the way for the birth of more complex life. All right time came to 5 a.m., which was 2.3 billion years ago, when Earth suddenly entered an ice age. This was because the Milky Way galaxy collided with a small galaxy. The collision caused a large amount of matter to compress together, resulting in many supernovae. These supernovae were like extremely bright suns, with very short lifespans exploding within tens of millions of years. Once they exploded, they emitted powerful gamma rays that hit Earth. A large amount of water vapor in the atmosphere condensed, forming clouds which blocked sunlight and caused the Earth to cool rapidly. Fortunately, the surface of Earth froze quickly, which allowed life beneath the ice layer to survive. At that time, the Earth was almost entirely water with no land. After the environment worsened, many primitive life forms with single functions could no longer survive. For example, organisms that relied on photosynthesis could not function without sunlight. In order not to go extinct, these primitive life forms did something amazing. They began to merge. That is, many primitive organisms with different functions started to combine into multifunctional complex organisms, allowing them to survive extreme conditions. For example, cyanobacteria that performed photosynthesis merged with organisms that could survive in dark environments. Even though photosynthesis was useless at that time, once merged, they inherited the function and could survive in darkness. Then, when sunlight reappeared, they could live in both light and dark conditions. Scientists believe this was not a conscious decision, but resulted from mutual predation. Due to lack of food during the Ice Age, organisms ate each other and their genes mixed together. Just like if I ate cyanobacteria, I would gain the ability of photosynthesis and my genes would change. You might say if I ate fish, I would grow gills and breathe underwater. That sounds exaggerated, but in the age of primitive life, the cell structures were simple and gene fusion was very possible. Therefore, many biologists believe that disaster is the catalyst for biological evolution. Whenever a disaster occurs, different functions are forced to merge, leading to evolutionary breakthroughs. Later, I will talk about more disasters. You will notice that every time Earth experiences a catastrophe, a new species appears, and sometimes even a more advanced life form. Right now we do not see humans evolving, probably because we have not encountered a truly devastating extinction-level disaster. The new organisms born from fusion are called eukaryotes. Eukaryotic life is 10,000 to 1,000,000 times larger than prokaryotes, and it was during this ice age around 5 a.m. that they were born 7 a.m. 1.8 billion years ago. The first continent on Earth appeared due to magma activity from beneath the crust. This continent was called the Lunar continent, possibly a combination of what we know today as the North Pole, Greenland and North America. Shortly after the Lunar continent formed, another called the Columbia continent emerged. In fact, continents on Earth are constantly splitting and merging. Currently, Earth only has 2 supercontinents, Eurasia, Africa as one, and the Americas as the other 10 a.m. 700 million years ago. The Milky Way once again collided with a small galaxy, causing a starburst and generating many supernovae. Earth entered another ice age. But unlike before, this time the starburst was mild. The explosions happened sporadically, causing Earth to freeze and thaw repeatedly. This freeze-thaw cycle also affected biological evolution, with extinction and rebirth occurring repeatedly. Evolution accelerated. During this period, the most significant change was the fusion of unicellular organisms into multicellular life. From 10 a.m. to 10 a.m., which was just 10 minutes on the clock, but millions of years in real time. Unicellular organisms transformed into multicellular ones. Multicellular organisms are about 1 million times larger than unicellular ones. Early examples include sponges 10-20 am, 580 to 610 million years ago. Earth briefly entered another ice age. Then high-level organisms such as jellyfish and trilobites appeared. At that time, jellyfish could grow to over 1 meter in diameter. 10:30 am. Cambrian explosion. This is one of the greatest miracles in the history of life. In just 10 million years, which is only 2 minutes on the clock, 35 biological phyla appeared on Earth. Today, there are 34 existing phyla and 6 extinct ones, meaning 40 total, and 35 of them appeared during that 2-minute period. In other words, nearly all ancestors of modern animals were born in that instant. Darwin's theory of evolution could not explain this. Even Darwin himself admitted it was inexplicable. This became one of the main arguments used by proponents of creationism. However, mainstream science believes it was an illusion. Not all life appeared in that short time, but rather the conditions during that period were especially favorable for fossil formation, so we mainly discover fossils from that era. One theory suggests that organisms around that time started to contain calcium and phosphorus in their bodies, which made fossilization easier. It was like all life lined up for a group photo. Even our ancestors, including mammals, reptiles, birds, all trace back to this period through a creature called bony fish. From a scientific perspective, we humans are essentially just highly evolved. Fish 10:50 am. First mass extinction. After the Cambrian explosion, Earth suddenly cooled again, wiping out half of all life. 00 am. Second mass extinction. Nearly all marine life went extinct, but fish evolved lungs to breathe air, leading to the rise of amphibians. Life always finds a way after each disaster. 05 am. One type of amphibian called Ichthyosaur evolved into the earliest known reptile named Hylonomus, which was about 20 centimeters long and found in Canada. 15 am. Third mass extinction, the most severe. 96% of marine life and 76% of land species went extinct. Shortly afterward, around 11:20 am, dinosaurs appeared. Dinosaurs are essentially lizards that suddenly stood up, just like humans were apes that stood upright. The earliest known dinosaur fossil is from Argentina, named Eoraptor, about 1 meter long, bipedal with 5 fingers. From dinosaurs to humans. Dinosaur extinction was one of Earth's 5 major mass extinctions and created an opportunity for mammals. Mammals were covered in fur and became competitors to dinosaurs. The fourth extinction, around 200 million years ago, wiped out 70% of species, but allowed dinosaurs to dominate. After 50 million years of gene mutation, ancient apes appeared and eventually gave rise to humans. Humans share more than 96% of their genes with apes, but a special section called the Human Accelerated Region shows major differences. These differences gave humans opposable thumbs language and advanced intelligence. Rise of agriculture and cities. After humans spread across all continents, agriculture and animal husbandry emerged. Neanderthals and Denisovans went extinct. Humans took over. Around 6,500 years ago, the Sumerians built the first cities. Laws, currency and measurement systems followed, and human civilization began. technological revolution and AI. 300 years ago, James Watt invented the steam engine, triggering the Industrial Revolution. 80 years ago, computers were born, changing information processing. 50 years ago, humans landed on the moon, and the internet was born. Today, artificial intelligence may become the next form of intelligent life, the future of Earth and humanity. In 4 billion years, the Earth's core will cool, magnetic field will vanish, and solar wind will strip away the atmosphere. In 1.5 billion years, greenery and oceans will disappear. Earth will become a desert world. Eventually, the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies will collide, causing massive starbursts, and supernovae life will end. The Sun will ultimately engulf Earth, erasing it from existence. The fate of humanity. There are two possibilities. Humanity escapes Earth and survives on another planet. Humanity goes extinct, and AI becomes the new dominant life form, continuing evolution elsewhere in the universe.